Morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Glenn Tan speaking. This time, I'm going to talk about inverter modular chiller, the controller. According to the controller settings and functions, this presentation divided into these four parts. Function setting. Before introduced to the controller, here I'd like to introduce how to do the wiring to the chillers. And on this slide, you'll find that here is the chiller number 1, and this is the chiller number 2. And this is our latest chiller, which it has 2 complexers and 2 PCBs. And also the left side is the master. And also for the modularize, you need to connect from the chiller number 2, the CN25 here, to the first CN33. If there are 2 PCB, select the left side. And on the other hand, don't forget to change the dip switch. We require when this chiller, if we connect with this controller, which is this one, the address it should be all 0, just like this. And this one just change the first dip to make it to bit number 2, just like this is okay. And also this is the power supply, and before the commissioning you need to wire on the terminals. And for the modularize, you just need to connect from here the CN33 to the next CN25. We may support 32 complexers as one system, which is under the same controller. And for this controller, you need to connect from this CN25 to here, the CN1. And if you would like to control from a PC or a third-party BNS system, here the CN2, the output is already standard RS485, and according to this RS485 converter, you can connect to the PC. And here, this wire here is the part code, just for your reference. As for this RS485 converter, if you choose to purchase from Gree, we can offer you these 2 models, ME40 and GDO2, and the output is different. Also, you can buy from your local market, which means you don't need to purchase from our Gree. Interface. The first is the control phase, and from here it is the home page. So we can see the current mode and the current day, and this button is reserved, no function. Turn on, turn off the chiller from here, and here is go back to the other home page, which is to this one. And from here on this page, you can see the on-off mode, either it is on or off. And here it is the modular quantity. In this case, there are 16. And here we display the unit name. This time it is A series inverter modular chiller. And if there is error code, it will also display here. And here we display the operating mode. This is the setting temperature. And when you press this menu key, it will go to this page. If on the controller there is no operation within 10 minutes, it will go back to the menu page, which is this one. To turn on or turn off the chiller is very easy, and just on this page you can press here to turn it on, and also press here from on to off, just like this. Before that, it will ask you whether you need to convert, you need to turn it on or turn it off. Function setting. On the menu page, when you press here, it will go to the function phase, which is this one. Here you just need to turn on or turn off different functions. So for the first one is the mode selection. For the chiller, there are these three: cooling, heating, and manual defrost mode. You can manually to choose. Is the e-heater control. This one, what you can set on here is turn on or turn off, and here is just to allow the chiller to control the e-heater, and it is not directly turned on if it is depending on the condition, which is if there is no flow switch or the water in and out temperature sensor error, then it is allowed to turn on, and this allow is not turned on directly because it is related to the parameter setting. And on the parameter setting, later I will make a detail. This is the start up temperature for e-heater, and this is the end of the e-heater temperature of the water temperature. Auto anti-freezing. When you turn on this function, that means when the chiller is detected the anti-freezing temperature, which is from the sensor, or the water out temperature is lower than the preset value, then this chiller will turn on this anti-freezing solutions. Solution 1 is just turn on the water pump to circulate the water system, and solution 2 is when we detected the temperature of the water is still going down, so we need to turn on the compressor to heating up the water system. Contact control on off. This means for this one, if you enable, make it to be enabled, then we allow to control this chiller, this A or B series chiller from the dry contactor. And of course, you need to do the wiring to the external wiring. And this wiring should be separated for different chillers. Next, we'll go to the timer on-off, either disable or enable. For this one is allow the chiller to apply this timer, and also please pay attention that this timer function is complete with the contact control. And once you make it to be enabled, also you require to set the detail setting at the timer setting page. And this setting is at the second page. You will find that here is the timer setting. You just press here, you will enter it, and which is this one. You can select either to turn it on or turn it off, and also select which setting is available. And we offer you max 4 segments to set it, and also you can choose on which weekday you need to turn it on. And here is after the setting, you can make it to be selected. It's okay. Next is manual defrost, and for this one is to make the chiller to force defrost. And when you enter this one, we'll go to this page. The first is to select which chiller. And on this case, we just, for example, we just select the unit 2, and then just make it to be tickled. Is go to this page. After you tickle up this number 2 chiller, then it will display you the information whether it's under the defrosting or not. And just in this case, you can find that it is this one is under defrosting, so it will display this information whether you would like to stop this defrosting right now. And here is the other, which is when you activate this function, it will go into the defroster immediately. On the other hand, for this one, it's not allowed to select two or more chillers. And the last is if this chiller is not existed, it cannot select it. Next, we will go to the on-off memory function setting. Just on this one, you can turn on or turn off this memory function. Energy saving mode. When you turn on this mode, the system will change the setting water temperature. For example, in cooling mode, change from 7 to 12 degree. And for this one, which will lead to the compressor RPM not go that higher, which can achieve energy saving. Just compare with when you're setting as 7, when you set it to be 12 degree, the compressor will not cost that much power. Quiet mode. How to achieve it is the system will lower the compressor and fans RPM to achieve quiet. Remote monitoring address setting. For this one is when you connect the chiller system just like this, which is according to the controller, the output, which is according to this RS485, then you can use the PC to control the chiller system. And for LV controller, which is LV chiller system, the address from the controller, it should be different, which can be set from here. Resetting function. For this one is restore to factory setting, including reset all the parameter here and also all the setting from the general, except the language, and also all the function setting from this function page. Also except the timer and manually defrost. And for this reset function, it is not available for the next field commissioning and the factory commissioning. Field commissioning setting. For this one, we require the password. It is here. And the function for this is for the commissioning, which means you would like to check whether the water system is okay or not after you install this chiller. And which we will go to this page and you can set and also to check the parameter. And at the setting page, which is go to this one, you can set the items. And also here, you can check different chiller. On this case, there is only two chillers, and press this number 1, we will display all the detected value from the sensors. Here is the detail for the field setting. You can find that there are all the parameter and also functions for the commissioning which you would like to tell the system which function you would like. For example, the most important is the control target. The default setting is the water out, which is the leaving water temperature. You can also change this one to be the water in temperature. And also for the defrosting, the detail, you can also change it. And of course, for this function require you should have enough experience. And also the anti-freezing, when you apply the anti-freezer, also you are allowed to change this value. And also similar to the anti-overheating, when we detect the water is too hot, we will also trigger the error. And also set the alternate control for the water pump. And this one is for release all the water in the water system. And here is for the field checking. It will display all the parameter we detected either from the compressor and fan motor This is the RPM and also the superheat uh, and the ESV opening degree, ESV1 and ESV2. Last at the function page is the factory commissioning setting, but for this one it is only for the engineer, which is for the development. For the after sales it is no use. Parameter setting. When you press this parameter and then we go to this page, including two pages, which is this table, and this table is the setting target of the cooling and heating, and this cooling and heating, which is the water in and out, that depending on your control target on the function setting, which one you would like to select. And also you can set the heater on and off temperature. And for example, you would like to change this one, just press here, and then at this page it will display the range, allowable range, and also the current value. Information checking. This slide displays the checking information. When you press here, it will display this page. Here you need to select which chiller, which is which unit here. And then, for example, when you select either one of it, it will display this one. In this case, you just select this unit 1, and then it will show you this page, which is to tell you or asking you which parameter you would like, and either the component's operating states or the operating parameter, just like this 2 page. Here is the detail. First is for the component status. We already display all the parameter, either it is on or off, including the compressor, fan, water pump, and water flow switch, four-way valve, and e-heater, and also the contact control, whether it is on or off, and also the discharge sensor and the solenoid valve. And as for the parameter, we will show you all the sensor detected value. Error checking. On this page, it already display error here and the detail. If there are more than one error, you can press here the inform, and also at this page it will tell you which chiller has this error. Just make it to be red color, and you can press here to select it. And also at this unit 1 information, you will find that this one. Also press here, and here display the detail. Error recall. For this one is similar, and also first is to select which chiller, and then here to press the error recall. It will display all the errors, historical error, including the error information, and also when does this error happen. As the maximum, we can stop only 10 pieces of the error, which means the latest error will replace the earliest one. And on the other hand, you can also manually clear all the errors. General setting. Here, press this one and we display this page. And from this page, you are allowed to change the setting just for this controller, including the key tone, which is the feedback sound of the controller, and backlight time, system log, and language setting, and also the program information, which is the version. All for this presentation. If you still have any other questions, please feel free to contact me on this my personal email address.